Okay. All right. Let's get started. I'm so excited for today. Today's going to be quite awesome. Okay. So, hello, hello. I'm so happy that you're here. So I welcome you to today's training. Today's training is going to be all about breaking a habit. So I'm Stacey Hanlon, and I'm the owner of Wildflower Story. And I've been helping women for many, many years. It's been probably 13, 14 years now. So, I am a photographer and I'm a life coach, and I'm here to guide you through effective strategies to overcome your pesky habits that hold us back. Because we all know that we have those, right? We all do. So, okay, over the slide, we're going to be diving into understanding habits, identifying the triggers, and implementing strategies to help to break free from them. So, let's get started. Okay, so actually, I should also mention that this is going to be a shorter training. So it's fine that we're getting started a little bit late, but that's okay. So to break a habit, first we need to understand what a habit is and how it forms, right? So habits are routines of behaviors that are repeatedly or repeated regularly, and we tend to do this subconsciously, okay? They are formed through a process called a habit loop, which consists of like a cue, it could be a routine, or even a reward, right? So let's break that down a little bit with an example. So I have kind of a silly example. It's of my daughter when she was very little and she used to suck her thumb. Okay. So I'm trying to remember how old she was. I think she was about 4. Think she's about 4-ish when we wanted to get her to break this habit of sucking her thumb. So we had planned a trip to Disney. Actually, I think we had just gone to Disney, and this is back at the time period where Frozen had just come out. So she loved Elsa. She really identified with Elsa. So we said to her that in order to break your habit, why don't we, if you do this, if you succeed, what we'll do is we'll buy you an Elsa dress. Okay. But if you don't succeed, we won't be buying this for you. And we were going to be hard bent on this. Okay. So we set her up as much as we could for success. We actually got some socks. We put them on her hands so that she wasn't able to suck her thumb, or if she did, it would be really, what's the word? Um, oh my gosh, not threads. I can't think of the word. It'd be, oh my gosh, I can't think of the, basically gross in your mouth if you try to suck your thumb. I can't think of the word, what that's called. It'll come to me much later today. But anyways, I think it took her about, I think it was a month or maybe even just over that to become successful at this. So she did become successful, and we got her that Elsa dress, and oh, I'll never forget when we first got it for her. She was so very happy. And that just made everything worth it. And yes, it worked. She never reverted back to sucking her thumb. Okay, so basically, that analogy, that story, that can directly be transferred into your own life. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, so now that we have a solid understanding of habits, let's identify the specific habit that you want to break. So I want you to take a moment and I want you to think about a habit that's been holding you back. Okay, you might even want to write this down. Actually, I didn't think to create a little um, homework sheet. Apparently, my words aren't coming to me today. I didn't think about creating a homework sheet. So maybe I should create one for you. So just writing a note here. What is, okay, sheet. Okay, so because you want to be able to identify what your habit is that you want to break. And I mean, there could be more than one. I do suggest working on one first, become successful at that one, and then work on the additional ones, right? So These habits, they're going to be formed through a process called a habit loop, okay? Which also consists of a cue, routine, or reward. So actually, I've already gone over that. My apologies. Hang on, let me just find out where I'm at. So I always have notes. So I just want to make sure. Okay, right. Okay, yes, that's where I left off. I apologize. So, what are your triggers? What reward do you get from this behavior, right? So from this habit, what is your um the response? What's the positive reinforcement that you're getting from that behavior, right? Which is important to identify in order to be able to break that habit. Okay. So, for example, if you're trying to quit smoking, you want to basically replace this urge to smoke with something that's going to be positive, right? So, for instance, deep breathing exercises could very well work for you. Other things could work as well. So, what I personally suggest is I feel like I'm off topic. I'm not too sure why. Give me a sec. Okay, no, that's further down. Sorry, I'm having apparently a very weird morning today, but that's okay. Um, so yeah, if you're wanting to quit smoking, deep breath exercises. So I would suggest box breathing. So what is box breathing? So box breathing, actually, it's quite fun to do. So it's like you breathe in for 3 seconds, you hold it for 3 seconds, and then you let it out for 3 seconds. Okay, so it goes like this. So breathe in. Right? So you want to breathe out until all your air is out. So it's breathing in for 3, hold for 3, breathe out for 3. Okay. Um, so mindfulness is a powerful tool also in breaking our habits. So being present and aware, you can recognize the urge to revert back to your habit, right? And make that conscious choice to resist. So setting realistic goals is also very important. Now, I'm also thinking, 'cause I don't have this in my note, but I don't know how I missed this because I've taught this topic before, but basically, there's been some research that states that it takes 21 days to break a habit. I personally think it takes more along the lines of 6 weeks to break a habit because I know that when I don't change that behavior, in that 3-week time period, I'm going back to that original habit, whatever it is. Say, for instance, it's working out. If I don't work out for a longer time period than that, then I know that I'm not going to be successful in this, right? So I want to become successful. So I want to be able to make sure that I am doing this behavior for a longer time period, right? So going back to my daughter when she was sucking her thumb, right? I said that she was able to change that behavior within about 5 weeks, I think it was. And she became very successful and she never reverted back to that, right? So we want to make sure that we're setting yourself up for that success, right? Because that's going to be the super most important thing. Okay, so you want to set realistic goals. So you want to make sure that you break it down enough that you're going to be able to meet this goal, right? Because if you set a very lofty goal, chances are very high that it's not going to become successful, right? So you want to make sure that it's a goal that like if you want to quit smoking within the next 2 days or something, right? That's not going to be realistic, right? That's something that's going to take a longer time period before you're able to achieve that goal, right? So you want to focus on your small, very achievable steps. And this is taking bigger habits. So basically, I want you to start at the end of your goal. Okay, actually, I do this with everything. I do this in my business. I don't mean just with goals, I mean everything in life. Whenever I have something larger to do, I figure out what is my end goal, right? Then I kind of work it backwards. So I was thinking actually like a little mind map when I was talking there. So you could do it as a mind map. You could do it as like writing at the top and then writing down like step one, step two, step three, four, whatever, right? Continuously going. Whatever's going to be easiest for you and however your brain works, right? Because we want to make sure that we set you up for that success. Um, so basically, I take that big goal and then I break down and put down the other little steps, right, in between, right? So what are the steps that I need to take in order to get to my end goal, right? What or even sometimes your goal could even be how do you know that you've reached your goal, right? Um, that could be another aspect. So you could chunk it down into smaller goals, right? So, I mean, this is your big goal, but then you have little baby steps underneath it, right? And then keep going. So, there's another layer underneath that, right? So, I mean, there's so many different variables in that that we can get you to that success. Okay, so another great example is actually many people don't know this about me. I think my face is going a little redder here. So a long, long time ago, back in my teenage years, I used to smoke. I smoked for about 5 years. And I decided when I was in college that I was going to quit. I don't know why I decided in college that I was quit, but I did. And that's perfectly okay. And honestly, I have never looked back ever since I made that decision. Um, yes, it was difficult, but I was able to persevere and push through and no longer smoke. And I mean, I feel so much better. I feel so healthier or so much healthier, right? In that decision. But basically what I wanted to do was show you um, that with persistence, any habit can be broken, right? It's remembering that change is a process and that every small little step, it counts. Okay. It really and truly does count. So that's all I have for content for today. So I just wanted to thank you all very much for joining me. Yes, as I mentioned, today was a much shorter topic, and it doesn't mean that it's any less important. I will create a worksheet to go along with this so that you have something so that you can start reaching those goals. And I look forward to hearing all about them. You're more than welcome to drop them in our group. And yeah, we shall see you soon. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.